So, what happens when a dying animal gets a second chance? Well, we're about to find out. This is the incredible story of an abandoned axolotl, a really high stakes rescue mission, and the amazing custom home that was built just for it. Let's dive in. This was the rescuer's biggest fear as he was just waiting for the animal to show up. He'd found this website that rehomes abandoned axolotls, but there were absolutely no guarantees. The stakes were just incredibly high from the very beginning. Okay, so it all kicks off right here, with just a simple cardboard box and a life literally hanging in the balance. The very first challenge, just getting the little guy out of transit and into a safe, temporary spot. Now, the way this rescue happened, it's a little unconventional, to say the least. To save it, the creator actually had to order the axolotl online, and he even paid extra for one-day shipping just to minimize its stress. When that box finally arrived, it was the moment of truth. Was it even alive? And thankfully, it was. Inside was this beautiful, fully grown black axolotl, almost 10 inches long. But that initial look revealed some pretty serious issues. There were these large white spots all over its body, and most alarmingly, a huge chunk of its tail was just gone. The road to recovery was definitely going to be a long one. All right, so from that scary first look, we move on to the healing process. And this is where we find out that this little animal has an incredible, almost unbelievable biological advantage. This is the big question, right? I mean, you look at that injury and you have to wonder if a full recovery is even on the table. How does an animal bounce back from losing an entire piece of its body like that? The answer is something straight out of a comic book: regeneration. Axolotls can regrow entire limbs, organs, even parts of their brain. And what's wild is that the healing process for this one's tail had actually already started before it even arrived. So to help that natural superpower along, the rescuer put a two-step first aid plan into action. First, he added Stress Guard to the water to help it develop a protective slime coat on its super delicate skin. And second, he dropped in some Indian almond leaves, which slowly release these natural healing tannins, turning the water kind of like a cloudy tea. So while our little axolotl is recovering in its temporary tank, the main event gets underway, building a permanent, custom-designed paradise. And the goal wasn't just to make a safe habitat, but one that really matched its unique, dark aesthetic. First things first, you gotta lay the foundation. This was done in 3 really careful steps: a base of aqua soil for some future plants, then a layer of sand to keep the water clear, and then a mix of smooth black rocks. And using only smooth stones was super important, because axolotls have extremely delicate skin that can get scraped really easily. Okay, with the foundation set, it was time for the most ambitious part of this whole build. Not just any old cave for shelter, but a custom sculpted cave designed to look exactly like an axolotl's head, a true centerpiece. And the way he put this together was just pure DIY genius. He stacked up rocks, bonded them with spray foam, then carved it all into shape and painted it with aquarium-safe paint. And for the final touches, giant googly eyes and some red pipe cleaners for those iconic external gills. A little quirky, sure, but you can't say it's not effective. But the artistic streak didn't stop there. He tried a couple more DIY projects. First, an attempt to carve an axolotl statue out of a brick, which, well, he admitted it looks like a stupid caveman drawing. But the second attempt, a wood-burned plaque, was a whole different story. It was carefully traced and meticulously crafted. A total success. And that successful plaque? It wasn't just for show. It served a purpose. It officially revealed the rescued axolotl's new name, which is a pretty clever and fitting choice: Black's the Axolotl. A perfect name for a new beginning. All right, the tank is complete. Black's health is getting better every single day, and it was finally time for the main event. The moment where this whole rescue mission and the creative build finally come together. And you know what? The introduction was a huge success. Black's was immediately active, just walking around and exploring every single corner of the new enclosure. This was a fantastic sign, showing it was feeling safe and curious after everything it had been through. Okay, so now that Blacksea was home, it was time to get to know him a little better. First up, a proper scientific taste test to figure out his favorite food. 3 options were on the menu, and the results were decisive. The freeze-dried bloodworms? Eaten in about 10 seconds. Not bad. The axolotl pellets?
He tasted them and immediately spat them back out, a clear no thank you. But the earthworms? Oh yeah. Blacks devoured one in just over a second. I think we have a clear winner. And then came the ultimate payoff. A little while later, Blacks was spotted using the centerpiece of the whole build, just chilling out inside that custom axolotl head cave. That quirky project wasn't just for looks, it was officially a functional axolotl-approved home.
So the rescue was complete, the home was built, and the axolotl was thriving. But the story actually has a larger takeaway. It's about a promise, about what comes next. See, in the past, the creator had to donate a lot of the animals from his projects. But this rescue marked a real turning point. He made a new promise. Starting with Blacks, every single animal featured would get a permanent home, right there, in a dedicated room. So when you think about it, this entire journey involved emergency shipping, delicate medical care, and, yeah, a whole lot of spray foam and googly eyes. It really makes you wonder, what does it truly take in terms of creativity, commitment, and just plain care to give just one rescued animal a real new beginning?